Here with St. Paul's coach Kenny Sears. Coach, new season. We just finished media day and picture day. Is that excitement restarting where it's new season? Let's get to it.
Yeah, we just coming out of camp, had a fantastic camp. Great leadership from our seniors. I thought the kids gave tremendous effort. So now as we progress within the next couple of weeks and get ready to put on pads, I like where we are at this point. I thought we had a great summer in our strength and conditioning. We had a great camp. So we're at this point where still looking for opportunities to get better, and we'll find out within the next 3 weeks when we put on pads and start to progress into the season.
There's going to be a lot of new faces in terms of fans, not really coaching staff, but fans that they're going to get used to and learning some new names. Jack's not really a new name, but it's his job here at the start of the season at quarterback. Just talk about the kind of threats that Jack Bashburn gives you under center for your offense.
Well, Jack's got a tremendous skill level. He really came on for us late in the year. He's a big body. He's a 6'4" kid. He gives us height at quarterback, but also he can run. He doubled at receiver last year and did a great job for us at receiver. So he's a threat running the ball as well as throwing the ball. He's one of those guys that got better every week, and we could see a great progression during the spring and during the summer. So with his skill set, I think we'll be able to do multiple things. So he certainly presents a threat.
He talked about, you just mentioned he was one of the best receivers on the team last year as well. He said there's some new names and there's some old names. And the first name he mentioned was Nick Stanton out there at wide receiver, at tight end position. Just talk about some of his targets this year. Picture day, there was 28 receivers up there taking pictures. Right. Just talk about some of your threats at the wide receiver position.
Well, wide receiver Nick is the probably most experienced guy coming back. Nick's 6'4" kid, big target. Nick last season did a tremendous job, especially second half of the season, in terms of starting to figure it out and getting a little bit better every year and every game. And certainly he figured out, hey, if I put my foot up the field, I'm a big guy, I'm hard to tackle. So he got a lot of yak yards for us last year. But he's got incredible hands, great target. Will Robinson returns for us as one of the slot receivers as well. Will brings us some speed and physicality at that slot. On the outside, at the Z, we'll probably have Wayne Galloway out there who double at safety. Wayne's a tremendous athlete. Gives us some speed out in that area, outside, and some size as well. Mason Impastato will probably play the other slot, and we'll have a bunch of guys rotating in there, but Mason will probably start that. Mason's more of a scat back type, smaller slot, but gives us great speed at that slot position.
Are you worried about the running back position when you lose in terms of numbers, your two leading rushers from last year? Or is it more I'm excited about the new players and the new faces that have to step up?
Well, obviously, when you have so many guys start, like Corey start for you for so many years, you get comfortable, having a guy you can count on back there. But, going forward, the guys that we have coming up, I'm real excited about them. And they all have a different style. I mean, the four guys that have worked through spring, and got some time last year. Carter Ely will probably start it off for us. Carter's a tough physical back, but also has great vision. Mike Crockett had a great spring for us. We had moved him to running back late last year, and brings us some speed and vision as well. And then we have Mitchell Smith. Mitchell had a fantastic spring. Mitchell's a different style running back as well. And then Mason as well is kind of a scat back. He'll double at F and go back there as well. So I think, with those four guys, we have a different style type of runner, and it'll be running back by committee. We'll play 2, 3, maybe 4 of them as we go through the process of the game.
None of this is going to matter at running back or wide receiver or quarterback if you don't get the time up front from your offensive line. The term every coach is talking about is clean pocket and big holes.
Right.
Who's going to provide that for you for your offense this year?
Well, this is probably the biggest offensive line that we've had, and I would have to say probably if there's any strength to our team, that's we just have tremendous experience up there in size. Owen Addison is returning from tackle, 3-year starter. And then we have Matt Algero, who started last year at offensive guard. Jared Krieger will go to center. And then Bear Palazzo at the other tackle. Jeb Juge had a tremendous spring, and he's probably going to get that spot. But, all those guys bring us tremendous size, and they can move as well. So that experience, along with that size, definitely provides us a good foundation. I think certainly we've done a great job throwing the football the last couple of years, but I think we'll certainly be a threat in the running game as well.
Before we talk about the defense, I wanted to get your thoughts on one thing. When I was talking to Jack, and he said how it ended last year in terms of the district, and it wasn't a St. Paul's kind of year, because St. Paul's usually is contending for a district championship. Have you sensed that from the mood of your team of, you know what, we've got some motivation and we want to show everybody that last year wasn't what St. Paul's is in terms of district finishes?
Well, we always strive to be the best we can every year. So, and we certainly did that. Just fell short. This year's group is a different dynamic. We always have a process of our goals, but we take one game at a time, and that's the way it is for us. And we try to prepare. We have a tough front end of our schedule before we start district, and we believe that kind of prepares us for district. So, how we come out of that, those first three games is going to tell us a lot going into district, because it's tough competition. And, if we can come out injury-free and learn something about ourselves and improve in those three games, I like our chances being in a race in a tough district.
Start up front for me on the defensive line.
Defensive line, we have Michael Crockett back at defensive end. Michael's a savvy player, brings his tremendous speed off the edge. At nose, we have Jordan Eberts. Jordan's return starter. He gives us speed at the nose. Shandara Kim got some experience at the nose as well. And then we have a couple other guys that we'll put in a rotation, younger fellas, Gavin Clayton and possibly Thomas Rushing getting in the mix. At the other defensive end will be Jacob Frolick. He's a newcomer, but he had a tremendous spring. Spencer Fox, who got some good varsity time last year as well, will be another guy that'll rotate at that other defensive end position. Our linebacking core probably be Austin Hollencheck and Ian McCarthy. Both got some great varsity time for us last year. The returning starters, Michael Philippi at Mike. Michael's a big physical linebacker, and he brings us pretty good speed at that Mike position as well. Our hammer positions will be Kyle Canigliaro. Kyle's a tremendous leader out there. The other hammer position will be Connor Eichel. Connor and Wayne Galloway will probably rotate in those areas along with Kyle. So that gives us a third option there. At the corners will be Cade Manette. The other corner will be Michael Ward. Our free safety will be Robert Buqua. So that'll be our lineup. Robert's return starter. Robert's rangy kid, 3-year starter, gives us experience back there. Michael Ward gives us tremendous athleticism back there as well. But I like our guys. I like the way we progressed. Probably out of both sides of the ball, that's the area where we need to do the most work. But we had a good summer, and I like the way they're competing in practice.
You said your defense, that's the area where the most work is needed. Is it more of, they're talented, just unproven?
No, I mean, we got four return starters, technically 5. One guy played half a season, but just where we like the most experience. Most of our experience is on the offensive side of the ball. But we always rotate a bunch of players in, make a conscious effort to try to work guys in. So we got guys with game experience and varsity experience.
All right, my last question, and I've gotten emails and tweets and people asking this question. Ask Coach Sears, what does he know about Christian Brothers, and how does a trip to how do you make a trip to Tennessee during the high school football season? People seem fascinated by this.
Right.
It's week 3 for you?
It's week 3.
Okay. First off, how did it come about? And then tell me what what you know about that program already.
Well, they're an outstanding program. I mean, they're usually ranked nationally. And last year they came down and we lost the game to them, but we did a respectable job, and we took a lot of injuries after that game, which I think kind of hampered us, as we started our district run. But the game came to be because I made some connections and relationships with some folks from Christian Brothers through a program that I was the last couple of years. But it was just a great opportunity for us to play another outstanding program. And in terms of the game itself, if you take I-55, it's 5.5 hours. So we're going to go in a day and play the game and come back. So it's really not that big of a deal. But it'll be a great opportunity for our kids, a great experience for them.